On Global TV News Prime, Nigeria, European Union to hold 8th ministerial dialogue in Abuja. In business, House of Representatives warn of possible petrol price hike over crude supply issues. On the foreign scene, Sudan's army denies role in deadly Darfur hospital strike. And in sports, Confederation of African Football imposes new financial conditions on Kenya over AFCON 2027 hosting. Hello and welcome to all of viewers in Nigeria and around the world to News Prime on Global Television, coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Ubong Osoro. A quick reminder, Global Television is on DSTV channel 365. We're also on Star Times channel 276. The federal government says Nigeria is set to host the 8th Nigeria-European Union Ministerial Dialogue in Abuja. The union brings together top officials to deepen strategic cooperations between both partners. The meeting will focus on trade, security, migration, governance, and climate action. On Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tuga, leading the Nigeria's delegation, European Union Foreign Policy Chief Kaja Kallas is expected to hold bilateral talks and high-level engagement aimed at strengthening diplomatic and economic ties. The Defense Headquarters has denied reports suggesting that the United States plan to relocate a drone base from Niger Republic to Nigeria, describing the claims as misleading. Authorities confirm that U.S. personnel currently in Nigeria are only involved in training, intelligence sharing, and advisory roles, not combat operations. The military insists there are no agreements or discussions regarding the establishment of a foreign drone base in the country. The federal government has defended Nigeria's security agencies, saying they are not responsible for the recent resurgence of terrorist attacks. Information Minister Mohammed Idris said the forces are working tirelessly to protect citizens, while also acknowledging that more efforts are needed to strengthen security. He also highlighted ongoing reforms and investments aimed at improving safety and stability across the country. Governors elected on the platform of the All Progressive Congress are meeting in Lagos to deliberate on national and party matters. The gathering is expected to focus on aligning state policies with federal priorities and strengthening parties' political strategy. The meetings comes amid APC's growing dominance over the country following a series of defections. The Abdurrahman Mohammed-led faction of the People's Democratic Party has inaugurated over 20 committees ahead of its national convention scheduled for later this month. Party leaders say the committees will oversee key aspects of the convention, including accreditations, logistics, security, and publicity as preparations intensifies. The move comes amid ongoing internal divisions within the party, with concerns that the crisis could affect its readiness for the 2027 general elections. The Emir of Kano has paid a traditional visit to the Kano State Government House as part of activities marking the annual Nasarawa Durban Festival. He was received by the Speaker of the Kano State House of Assembly in a colorful ceremony that attracted top government officials and traditional title holders. Global TV correspondent Idris Jibrin reports that this year's Durban was without horse riding. The report.
It was a moment of rich cultural display and royal splendor as the Emir of Kano arrived at the government house in continuation of the Nasara Durbar celebrations. Dressed in regal attire and accompanied by palace officials and horsemen, the Emir was warmly received by the Speaker of the Kano State House of Assembly alongside other dignitaries. The visit, which is a long-standing tradition, symbolizes the enduring relationship between the traditional institutions and government authorities. Crowds gathered to catch a glimpse of the royal procession as cultural performers added color and excitement to the occasion. Speaking during the visit, the speaker commended the Emir for his role in promoting peace, unity, and cultural heritage in Kano State.
I call on all citizens to avoid any action or behavior that could threaten the peace and stability of our dear state. Let us continue to uphold the value of tolerance, mutual respect, and harmonize coexistence regardless of our differences.
The Emir, in his remark, reaffirmed the commitment of traditional institutions to supporting government efforts towards development and social harmony.
With the governor's education reform program, we can see that a lot of improvement have been recorded in our education sector, and we have seen it on the outcomes of this year's WAEC and NECO. Our students have passed in large number. We are really happy with His Excellency the Governor.
The Nasarawa Durbar Festival remains one of Kano's most cherished cultural events, showcasing the rich heritage and traditions of the people. From Kano, Idris Jubrin, Global Television News.
The ancient city of Bauchi was recently transformed into a theater of colors, culture, and Equatorian skills as the annual Salat Durban Festival took center stage. Governor Bala Mohammed joined the Emir of Bauchi, Dr. Riowanu Suleiman Adamu, and thousands of residents to celebrate the rich heritage of the Emirate amidst calls for sustained peace and unity in the states. Kabir Hassan reports.
The dramatic thumping of drums and the blaring of traditional trumpets, known as kaki, arrival of the Emir procession at the Bauchi State Government House. Dressed in magnificent regalia, hundreds of horsemen displayed a salute, a high-speed charge toward the royal pavilion that symbolizes loyalty and bravery. Governor Bala Mohammed, who witnessed the spectacle, described the Durbar as more than just a festival, but a vital tool for social cohesion and economic growth in the Northeast. As we celebrate our rich culture today, it is important to note that the peace we enjoy is the foundation for the infrastructure revolution we are currently witnessing. The ongoing works across the state are specifically designed to ensure better development and a more prosperous future for the citizens of Bauchi State. In his message to the people, the Emir, Dr. Riowanu Suleiman Adamu, thanked the Almighty for the successful completion of the festive period. He urged the youth to shun social vices and embrace skill acquisition, while calling on the government to maintain its focus on rural development and security to ensure that farmers can return to their lands in peace. I wish to express my profound joy to the people of Bauchi State for their peaceful conduct and for coming out in such great numbers to celebrate with us and the governor. We thank the Almighty for His unity, and we pray for the collaboration between traditional institutions and the state government continues to bring more development to our communities. For the residents of Bauchi, the Durbar remains the highlight of Salah Festive. Many who traveled from across the country to witness the event expressed joy at the preservation of the centuries-old tradition, noting its impact on local businesses. We are so happy to see the governor and the emir together, and we are grateful for the new road project made it easier for us to attend the Durbar. As the horsemen retire to the palace, the message of the day remains clear, that the unity of the people is the foundation of any meaningful development. Kabir Hassan, reporting for Global TV News.
A pro-government support group says it is deepening grassroots development by empowering military and paramilitary families across the country. The Bola Tinubu Ideological Group made this known during a sensitization and empowerment program for military and paramilitary spouses in Abuja. Aneta Patrick reports.
Convener of the group, Bamidele Atoyebi says the initiative is aimed at grooming leaders and promoting people-oriented development nationwide. He explains that the group is mobilizing Nigerians from the grassroots to national level to drive progressive ideals and strengthen governance. Atoyebi adds that the program targets military spouses, often overlooked, equipping them with skills and opportunities to improve their social-economic status.
Why we are doing this for the military and paramilitary is because over time they've been sidelined. And majority of them think because their husbands, their spouses are uniform men, they should not participate in politics. They got it wrong. There is no law stopping them from participating in politics. And in them participating in politics, this is when and how they will be able to even negotiate on behalf of the husband, negotiate on behalf of their family.
On her part, national women leader of the ministry and paramilitary wives, Gloria Luka, says the initiative is designed to promote unity, empowerment, and self-reliance among women.
He's the father of all. He has the history of people in his heart. He loves people. He loves helping the women, the military and paramilitary wives, to make them to achieve their dream and to make them grow, to achieve them, to empower them, to give them future, and to give their children a free education.
Some beneficiaries say the program will boost their livelihoods and give them a stronger sense of belonging.
Then what I think about the ideology, about this empowerment, it will give the women sense of belonging. So I think with this particular one, it's really going to help the women to have a sense of belonging.
I think looking at the serene, the environment, I think everything will be good and everything will move perfectly well.
Organizers say the initiative will be expanded across states as part of efforts to complement government interventions and drive inclusive national development. Anietie Patrick reporting for Global TV News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says its operatives have uncovered large consignments of illicit drugs hidden in everyday items at the Lagos airport and Korea facilities. Authorities say suspects attempted to smuggle opioid concealed in body creams, jackets, and cartons to international destinations. The agency described the seizure as part of broader crackdown on drug trafficking networks operating across Nigeria. You're watching the live broadcast of News Prime. News Prime continues after this weather forecast. We'll come back with business, foreign, and sports stories on the other side of this break. Please do stay with us.
Thank you for joining us. We expect plenty of sunshine across the northern and central parts of the country, with very high temperatures persisting throughout the day. Residents of these areas are strongly advised to take necessary precautions to reduce heat-related risk. While in the southern half of the country, likelihood of morning thunderstorms across parts of Cross River, Delta, Lagos, Ogun, and Osun State. As we move into the afternoon and evening hours, thunderstorms activity is expected to become more widespread along the coastal belt, extending into Imo, Enugu, some parts of Anambra, Edo, Osun, and parts of Kogi, the Federal Capital Territory, Niger, and parts of Kwara State. Do stay tuned for the temperature outlook. Thank you for watching.
Welcome back from that break. This is still News Prime on Global Television. Let's go to business now. President Bola Tinubu is set to flag off the Niger Delta Investment and Economic Summit in Port Harcourt, aimed at unlocking development opportunities in the region. The summit will bring together investors, policymakers, development partners to explore economic prospects across key sectors. Organizers say the initiative is designed to drive sustainable growth and reposition the oil-rich region for long-term prosperity. The House of Representatives is raising the alarm over a possible spike in fuel prices, warning Nigerians to brace for fresh pressures as the pump price increases if urgent steps are not taken. Chairman of the House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream, Ikenga Okochinyere, made the disclosure during a media briefing in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Anietie Patrick has more.
Chairman House Committee on Petroleum Resources Downstream Ikenga Ugochinyere linked the looming crisis to crude oil supply challenges affecting domestic refineries, especially the Dangote refinery. According to the committee, findings from its oversight function shows that the refinery is receiving far below the crude oil volume required to sustain stable fuel production. While the facility is expected to receive about 21 cargoes of crude oil, with at least 15 from Nigeria, it is currently getting just 5, a shortfall lawmakers describe as dangerously inadequate.
Now, beyond the insufficient quantity, we're also concerned about the quality of the crude that is being delivered. The Nigerian crude supply to the refinery is not of the highest available grade from our finding. So, a refinery of the scale and national importance like Dangote deserves and requires priority access to first-line quality crude oil.
The committee also raised concerns over the quality of crude supplied, alleging that it falls short of the standard required for optimal refining at the Dangote facility. Even more troubling, lawmakers say local refiners are being forced to pay over $18 per barrel in premium charges to foreign trading companies to access Nigerian crude oil.
So I want NUPRC, I want the International Oil Company, IOC, and the indigenous companies to understand that this is business accepted, but the country national economic interests also come paramount. And that if we say let's do it the way business should be done, then the refinery should be able to be selling their product maybe at 2,000 naira or 1,500. If any price you get from anywhere in the world you sell, Nigerian citizens will suffer. And that is why the framers of the Petroleum Industry Act, the PIA, put a proviso for a mandatory domestic crude supply, because they know that as much as you must do your business, that the country, the nation, the people must clean marks more.
The development, they note, means domestic refineries are effectively buying Nigeria's own crude through international middlemen, a practice they insist must end. The committee is now calling for immediate intervention to boost crude supply, warning that failure to act could trigger fuel scarcity and the return of long queues nationwide. From the National Assembly, Anietie Patrick, reporting for Global TV News.
As the world celebrates the International Forest Day, experts are saying that the forest offers more than just a place for leisure. It offers a real place for economies to strive. In this report, our correspondent takes us through what the forest means for all of us. The report.
Forests remain one of the most valuable natural assets, providing food, medicine, raw materials, employment opportunities for millions of people. A professor of wildlife resources technology, Edem Enyang, underscored the critical role of forests in sustaining life and driving national development, stressing that beyond preserving biodiversity and regulating the climate, forest resources remain vital to economic growth. He warned that safeguarding these natural assets is not optional, but essential to securing a sustainable future.
It's a day set aside by the global community to raise awareness of the value of conserving our forests, the value of forests, and the urgent need for all and sundry to join hands in protecting and conserving the integrity of our forests worldwide. This is why
environmental advocates declared that forest preservation is now a critical driver of economic growth and not just conservation. The Nigerian coordinator of the Nigerian Conservation Foundation, Folake Salawu, says this year's theme, Forests and Economies, underscores the vital role of forests in national development, job creation, and overall well-being of communities.
Lifetime, we should plant one tree to support the existence of forests and ensure that we cut down the rates of deforestation, which does not support sustainable development.
Stakeholders are calling for stronger collaboration between government, private organizations, citizens to protect Nigeria's forests while also promoting sustainable development. Ubong Usoro for Global Television News.
All right, so let's go to the foreign scene. Sudan's army has denied responsibility for a deadly airstrike on El Dain Teaching Hospital in East Darfur, which reportedly killed at least 64 people, including children and medical staff, and injured dozens more. The paramilitary Rapid Support Forces accused the military of carrying out the attack with a drone during the Eid celebrations, while the World Health Organization confirmed that the hospital is now non-functional, depriving thousands of critical health care services. The military, however, rejected the allegations, insisting it adheres to international law, as calls grow for an independent investigation into the incident amid Sudan's ongoing civil war that has already claimed over 150,000 lives and displaced millions. Tensions between the United States and Iran have escalated over the Strait of Hormuz, with both sides issuing fresh threats. President Donald Trump warned of possible strikes on Iranian infrastructure if key oil routes remains blocked, while Iran vowed retaliations against US-linked assets. The standoff has rattled global markets and pushed oil prices higher amid fear of supply disruption. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has vowed to personally target senior commanders of Iran Revolutionary Guards following a missile strike on a southern Israeli town. He made the remarks during a visit to Arad, one of the areas hit in the latest escalation between Israel and Iran. Over to Mukhtar Qasim for the rest of the story.
Netanyahu visited the affected areas to assess the damage caused by the Iranian missile strike, which hit residential zones and heightened tensions across the region. Standing at the scene, the Israeli leader issued a strong warning, signaling an intensification of Israel's response against Iran's military leadership.
If you want proof that Iran endangers the entire world, the last 48 hours have given it. In the last 48 hours, Iran targeted a civilian area. They're doing that as a mass murder weapon. Luckily, no one was killed, but that's due to luck, not their intention. Their intention is to murder civilians. They fired on Jerusalem right next to the holy sites of the three monotheistic faiths, the Western Wall, the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and the Al-Aqsa Mosque. And by dint of a miracle again, none of them were hurt, but they were targeting the holy sites of the three major monotheistic religions.
The visit comes amid growing fears of a wider regional conflict as both sides continue to exchange threats and military actions. Netanyahu further emphasized that Israel's response would go beyond defensive measures targeting key figures and strategic assets linked to Iran.
Well, we've defined two clear goals. One is to break completely their nuclear program, break completely their missile program, break completely their capacity to produce the components for both of these programs. We're well on our way on achieving it. We've also set a goal of creating conditions for the Iranian people to overthrow this tyranny that has tormented them and made life miserable and is making life miserable for the entire world.
The latest development underscored the deepening hostilities between Israel and Iran, with concerns mounting over the risk of further escalation. Global leaders have continued to call for restraints as tensions threaten to spill beyond the immediate conflict zones. Mukhtar Qasim, reporting for Global TV News.
At least 6 people have been confirmed dead and 1 person remains missing after a military helicopter crashed into Qatar's territorial waters during a routine operation. Qatari authorities say the aircraft went down because of a technical malfunction, noting that specialized rescue teams are continuing the search for the last missing occupants. The incident comes at a time of heightened regional tensions, although officials insist that there is no indication that the crash was linked to hostile action. We go to sports now. Manchester City have defeated Arsenal 2-0 to win the Carabao Cup final at Wembley, with Nico Reilly scoring twice in the second half to seal the victory. The 21-year-old netted 2 headers within 4 minutes, capitalizing on defensive error to hand Pep Guardiola's side their 8th League Cup title. The result ends Arsenal's hope of domestic quadruple, while Manchester keep their ambition alive as they continue to push for multiple trophies this season. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, has denied allegations of welfare neglect at the first phase of the national camp for the 2026 Commonwealth Games, while admitting that there was a delay in payments of athletes' allowances. The Federation says funds were properly approved and disbursed, insisting there was no financial misconduct and all athletes and coaches have been paid in full. AFN also maintained that camp facilities and accommodation met approved standards, blaming the delay on third-party payments processing issues rather than negligence. The Confederation of African Football, CAF, has reportedly asked Kenya to pay $30 million hosting commitment fee as part of preparations to co-host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. The development has raised fresh uncertainty over Kenya's role in the joint hosting agreement. Officials warned that failure to meet requirements could affect the country's participation in the tournament's plans. Kenyan authorities say efforts are ongoing to address the issue as attentions turn to meeting CAF's financial and organizational conditions ahead of the competition. As Global TV News Prime comes to an end, here's a recap of our top stories. The federal government says Nigeria is set to host the 8th Nigeria-European Union Ministerial Dialogue in Abuja, bringing together top officials to deepen strategic cooperation between both partners. In business, the House of Representatives is raising the alarm over a possible spike in fuel prices, warning Nigerians to brace for fresh pressures at the pump if urgent steps are not taken. On the foreign scene, Sudan's army has denied responsibility for a deadly airstrike on Al-Dian Teaching Hospital in East Darfur, which reportedly killed at least 64 people, including children and medical staff, and injured dozens more. And in sports, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has reportedly asked Kenya to pay $30 million hosting commitment fee as part of preparations to co-host the 2027 Africa Cup of Nations. And that's it on News Prime. A quick reminder, Global TV is on DSTV channel 365. You can also catch us on StarTimes channel 276. Kindly do follow us across all social media platforms on your screen. Please use @Global TVNG. I am Ubong Osoro. Bye for now.